The worst thing that you can do is to allow that insecurity to eat you up. Nobody in the real world thinks I'm fat. In fact, I have chicks telling me they think I'm ripped in person. What the fuck are you talking about? You know, they said I was Ryback, but smaller than Ryback. Well, I'm only smaller than Ryback because I'm 6 inches shorter than him. In terms of lean body mass versus height, I'm actually just as big as Ryback. And if you guys go watch any of my training clips I've done this month, you can see me standing up, walking around better. You'll get a better idea of that. People can argue all day long about whether they think I'm jacked or not. I don't really give a shit. But by most standards, I'm pretty jacked. Look at my fucking back and hamstrings. And today we're going to be covering none other than Jeff's side. Now, I don't want people to think that I think Jeff is big, because Jeff's side is not big. I don't need to cover his stats because I'm convinced he adds 20 pounds to his number. He is nowhere near as big as the stats he puts out, and he is a lot smaller than I am. Okay, height insecurity among shorter men has historically been a problem that has even made it into the history books. We're like with Napoleon and us talking about the Napoleon complex. If you just don't look at his delts and arms and you look at his back, chest, things like that, his legs, you'll realize that this photo, he is actually smaller than I am. And it's, again, his arms are bigger, his delts are bigger, but his overall muscle mass, he's actually smaller than me at this point. Most of you are smaller than me. I am a 100-kilo power lifter, and that's the exact opposite of what you want. What you need to do is to step back and assess this and say to yourself, I cannot change my height. I am the height that I am at. I have to accept it. I have to accept who I am. If you can't accept who you are, then there's no way you're going to convince other people that it's not an issue, and then your insecurities are going to show through and you're going to have that Napoleon complex. I don't claim to be natural, and again, people be like, why aren't you bigger? You guys haven't seen me in person, I guess. I'm bigger than you guys think. I'm a hell of a lot bigger than Jerry Ward and Jeff Side and some of these guys you are talking about. But you know, whatever. You don't have to believe me, guys. You know what? It's fine. Everyone thinks I'm lying. Whatever. Doesn't make a fuck. Doesn't make a fuck. I have way more muscle mass than any natural person on earth. And I know people will be like, what? Well, that's true. All right, that's just a simple reality. It puts into perspective, I'm not quite as small as some of you guys think I am. Do I really need more size on my back and hamstrings? I don't think so. You need to say these things out loud to affirm yourself, because that's what programs your mind to believe it. And again, I've got to remind people, all of you who've met me in person realize that I actually look like I lift in person. I look like I have less fat and a lot more muscle than I do on video. I've had at least a dozen people say that randomly who've met me. And you take someone like me, for example, when I show you the comparisons, you guys are going to laugh. Because if you run my fat-free mass index, I'm holding a bit of water, obviously, but I stepped off the scale this morning at 232 pounds. I am 5'9". If you plug me in at 25% body fat, which everyone always calls me obese, so, you know, let's say 25%. My fat-free mass index is up around 26. I had 20-inch arms when I ripped my bicep. And of course, it's really amusing to me when I get comments from people saying that, well, you haven't really made very much progress for someone who knows so much about all of these different topics. You don't have very much muscle mass, when I've put on around 50 pounds of muscle in 2 years. And the things that you tell yourself are always what you will eventually believe.